Hey sippers and thinkers, welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Another deep dive coming right up.
You know it, I'm your host.
And I'm back too.
Ready to quench that thirst for knowledge.
That's right.
You know our last episode on truth?
Oh, yeah?
It really got people talking.
It did.
That comments section was wild.
It was like a philosophy battle royale.
But hey, we love to see it.
Engagement.
That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely.
So today,
Okay.
we're going deep into another philosophical whirlpool.
Ooh, I like that.
One that's been swirling around for centuries.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're tackling René Descartes.
Descartes.
And that famous line,
You know it?
I think, therefore I am.
Big one.
So is this the bedrock of existence? Or are there cracks in that foundation?
Ah, Descartes, the OG mind bender.
Right.
You know, I was reading the other day
Oh, yeah.
about how he questioned everything.
Like everything.
Like everything he thought he knew.
Wow.
Locked away in a tiny room. Yeah, years.
Oh,
Talk about a deep dive.
that's commitment.
That's dedication.
We may not be locked away,
True.
but we've been doing some mental heavy lifting.
We have.
Articles research, even some ancient texts.
Oh, wow.
You know, we got to be thorough.
Absolutely.
Because this isn't just some dusty old riddle.
Yeah.
This I think, therefore I am thing
It's a big deal.
has implications for how we see ourselves,
It does.
the world around us,
Yeah.
even AI.
Whoa.
Because let's face it,
Let's face it.
simulations, VR,
Mm-hmm.
conscious AI.
It's not just sci-fi anymore.
Right.
Getting real.
So if we can't even pin down what it means to exist,
Yeah.
how do we grapple with all that?
That's the question.
So before we go full Matrix,
Okay.
let's lay out Descartes' argument.
Back to basics.
He wanted to find the foundation of knowledge.
Okay.
Something undeniable,
Right.
even if everything else was an illusion.
Tricky.
So imagine your senses are deceiving you.
Okay.
Everything you see here feel
Found
just a
it.
facade. A facade?
Descartes' point was,
Yeah.
even if you doubt the external world,
Mm-hmm.
you can't doubt that you're doubting.
Interesting.
So even if you're dreaming, like a
Okay.
crazy dream,
Yeah.
being chased by giant talking squirrels,
Giant talking squirrels.
you're experiencing it.
Okay.
You might question it,
Right.
but there's a you in there somewhere.
Having those thoughts. It's
Exactly.
like, hey, I'm thinking about these squirrels. Therefore, I must exist to think them.
I like it.
Right.
But wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What if our thoughts aren't so reliable?
What do you mean?
What if our brains are tricking us?
Ooh.
Ever had a dream so vivid you thought it was real?
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Just last week, I dreamt I won the lottery.
No way.
Woke up to my same old cereal.
Oof, reality check.
Big time.
But you've got a point.
Do I?
How do we know our thoughts are a reliable indicator?
Of existence.
Exactly. Things are getting interesting, folks.
Buckle up. We're diving into some paradoxes.
Ooh, paradoxes.
That'll make your head spin.
Let's start with a classic.
Okay.
The liar paradox.
Hit me with it.
Someone says, I am lying. Is
Huh.
that statement true or false?
True or false?
Yeah.
If they're telling the truth about lying, they must be lying. But if they're lying about lying,
Exactly.
they must be telling the truth.
Whoa.
My brain just did a backflip.
Right.
It's a self-contradiction,
It is.
showing how language can trip us up.
For sure.
So does this challenge Descartes' whole idea?
Potentially.
If our thoughts can lead to dead ends,
Yeah.
how can we be sure they prove we exist?
That is the question.
$1 million question.
Indeed.
One that's been pondered for centuries.
Philosophers love this stuff.
But before we get lost in the paradox maze,
Okay.
let's take a step back.
Okay.
Stepping back.
Consider other possibilities.
I'm open to possibilities.
What if there's more to truth
More to truth.
than just true and false?
What if there's a whole spectrum of truthiness
Spectrum of truthiness.
out there waiting to be explored?
I like where this is going.
Shades of gray, you know?
Not black and white.
Maybe existence isn't all or nothing.
Interesting.
Right.
You're onto something.
So you're saying
I am saying.
there's more nuance to it.
Much more.
Like a dimmer switch, not just on or off.
Exactly.
Wait, are you saying
Am I saying?
my existence could be like a 5 out of 10 on the being real scale?
You're funny.
Gotta up my existential game.
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
But seriously,
Okay.
we're talking about degrees of truth.
I am.
Like how real something is.
Precisely.
Not just is it real or not.
That's right.
Fascinating.
It is.
So tell me more about how this works.
How this works.
Yeah.
In the real world.
In the real world.
Well, think about self-driving cars.
Okay.
They use this kind of logic
They do.
to navigate tricky situations.
Mm-hmm.
No clear-cut rule book, you know.
So you're saying...
I'm saying.
My car is philosophically advanced. Laughs.
That's humbling.
Maybe not quite.
Okay.
But it's a good example how this logic helps make decisions.
In the real world.
Yeah, complex situations.
Instead of just if this, then that.
Exactly.
More nuance.
More nuance.
So maybe our brains do something similar.
Possibly.
When we think about existence.
That's a thought.
Right.
It is a thought.
We're trying to navigate this big question.
The big question of being...
And it's not simple.
No, it's not.
Our brains might be using this more complex logic.
Could be.
To grapple with it.
To make sense of it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see
the possibilities.
how this all connects.
It's exciting stuff.
So maybe instead of do I exist, the question is to what extent?
Ooh. I like that.
Mind blown.
A big idea.
It is.
But you know what?
Right.
That brings us to another possibility.
Okay, I'm ready.
What if our whole true or false framework
is just one way of looking at things?
Like one perspective?
One perspective among many.
What if there are other systems out there?
Other logics.
That could change everything.
Revolutionize our understanding.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to unpack here.
We do.
But first.
Yes.
A sip break.
Sip break.
Refill your glasses, everyone.
We'll be right back.
I just want to give another shout out to Micky from Mickytolife. His channel is a treasure trove of inspiration, and he's a huge Sip&Talk fan.
Absolutely. Make sure to check him out and maybe even share your awesome podcast intro with him once you've created it.
To shake things up even further,
oh yeah,
we're back, sippers and thinkers.
Back for more.
Ready for round 2 of I Think, Therefore I Am.
I'm ready.
I hope those glasses are full.
And the minds are open.
Because we're going even deeper down the rabbit hole.
Deeper we go.
Now, for those who just joined us,
welcome aboard.
We're exploring this whole idea of existence.
Yeah.
Is Descartes right?
Big question.
Is it as simple as, I think, therefore I am?
We've encountered some paradoxes along the way.
Right, some real brain twisters.
And we even dipped our toes into fuzzy logic.
Fuzzy logic.
All those shades of gray.
Which actually makes me think.
Oh, yeah.
About how our brains work.
Tell me more.
We're always processing information.
Right.
Making decisions, navigating a world.
That's rarely black and white.
Exactly. So maybe our existence is a bit fuzzy too.
That's a fascinating thought.
Right.
It is.
So what if
our
consciousness isn't a fixed point, but more like a spectrum?
A spectrum of awareness.
Yeah, like it's always shifting.
Always changing.
So instead of asking, do I exist?
Yeah.
It's more like, how much do I exist right now?
How much?
Like maybe my existence is strongest.
Okay.
When I'm having an amazing conversation.
I like where this is going.
Sipping a delicious cocktail.
Absolutely.
My brain is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
But then maybe it dips a bit.
When
I'm stuck in traffic.
Traffic.
Doing my taxes.
The worst.
You know those moments.
I've all been there.
But it's interesting though.
What if our
experience of existence is fluid?
Fluid existence.
Like it's influenced by our emotions, our environment, our physical state even.
It's a dynamic thing.
Dynamic, exactly.
I'm liking this idea.
So where does that leave AI?
Ooh, good question.
Or building machines that can learn?
They can solve problems.
Compose music that sounds human?
It's getting pretty real.
Are we creating a new form of existence?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
If we can't even define our own existence.
With certainty.
Right.
How can we say if a machine is truly conscious?
Conscious.
Aware, experiencing being.
That's tricky.
It's like we're teaching robots philosophy.
Before we figured it out ourselves.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
But seriously, how do we even measure consciousness?
In a machine.
Yeah, in a machine.
Well, some researchers are focusing on...
On what?
Self-awareness, learning adaptation, even emotional responses.
But those can be simulated, right?
That's the problem.
Just programmed in.
Without real consciousness.
Like the Turing test.
The Turing test.
If a machine can fool a human?
Into thinking it's human.
Does that mean it's thinking?
It's a good test.
Right.
But it doesn't prove consciousness.
Just good mimicry.
Impressive mimicry.
But what if...
What if...
there's something more to consciousness?
Something we haven't found yet.
Some secret ingredient.
The spark of being.
That separates us from machines.
That's the big mystery.
It is a mystery.
Driving so much research and debate.
In all sorts of fields.
Neuroscience, philosophy, AI.
All trying to figure it out.
What makes us conscious?
Some think it's the neurons firing.
The complex connections.
Others think it's something more.
Something fundamental.
Tied to reality itself.
Wow.
My brain is melting.
It's a lot to take in.
But this is fascinating.
Isn't it?
It really makes you realize
Right.
how much we don't know.
About ourselves, about the universe.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it.
The more we learn.
The more we realize there's more to explore.
And these big questions.
About existence, consciousness, reality.
They keep us curious.
They do keep the fire burning.
Speaking of burning.
Yeah.
That sun is setting.
It is getting late.
Time for another round.
What are you sipping tonight?
I've got something special. Elderflower liqueur gin, a splash of sparkling wine, light refreshing, perfect for existential pondering.
I like it. I'm sticking with my old-fashioned,
Classic.
timeless and complex.
Just like these questions we're discussing.
Exactly.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And we can't forget
What?
our amazing listeners.
Oh, yeah. You guys are the best.
Blowing up the comment section.
With your insights and questions,
Keep them coming.
we love hearing from you.
And if you need to unwind after all this,
A little brain break.
we recommend Mickeytolife on YouTube.
Yes. Mickey's channel is all about
Travel good vibes, delicious drinks,
the perfect palate cleanser.
after a heavy dose of philosophy.
But before we let you go,
One more thing,
we've got one final twist.
a mind-blowing twist,
Stay tuned for the grand finale
where we explore an even more radical way.
of thinking about logic.
And existence.
Final round sippers and thinkers
And the grand finale.
of our deep dive into I think, therefore I am.
We've been through a lot.
We have Descartes paradoxes, fuzzy logic,
All that good stuff.
some serious sips along the way.
And stimulating conversation.
I think we've established one thing.
What's that?
Existence is complex,
More than we thought.
not just an on-off switch.
Definitely not.
So then what is it?
That's the question.
Where do we even go from here?
Well, remember fuzzy logic?
Degrees of truth.
Right, all those shades of gray.
What if we push that even further?
Push it further.
Challenge the whole foundation of logic.
The foundation of logic.
Like, what if there's a whole universe of logic out there
A universe of logic.
that we haven't even considered?
Now you're talking.
You're talking about completely different ways of thinking,
Different ways of thinking.
like alternate realities of logic.
Not quite alternate realities,
Right.
alternate ways of structuring logic itself.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
It is a big idea.
So what do you mean?
I mean, there's this concept
Okay.
called multi-valued logic.
Penalty-valued logic?
Instead of just true and false,
Yeah, the binary.
there could be 3, 4,
Hold on.
even infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities for truth.
Imagine true and false
Okay.
were just 2 points on a spectrum
A spectrum of truth.
with endless points in between.
So you're saying
I am saying
something could be true, false, maybe kind of, sort of true?
all at the same time.
My brain is officially fried.
It's a lot to take in.
But I think I'm starting to get it.
You're getting there.
So if we apply this multi-valued logic
Yeah.
to existence,
The big question.
it's not about finding a definitive answer.
Not about yes or no.
It's about exploring the possibilities.
The space between true and false.
The in-between.
Exactly.
Wow, this changes everything.
It does shift your perspective.
Like, we've been so focused on the binary
True and false.
for so long.
Eastern philosophy loves its binary.
But other cultures,
Like ancient Indian philosophers.
they were already thinking about this.
Thousands of years ago.
Multi-valued logic.
They got it.
They recognize that reality is nuanced.
More than just true and false.
So maybe our insistence on a clear-cut answer
On a yes or no.
is holding us back.
Maybe we've been asking the wrong question.
What if instead of, do I exist,
We ask.
we ask, how do I exist?
How even?
Or what does it mean to exist in this way?
In this particular logical framework.
Mind blown.
It's a big shift.
It is. But how does this all connect
Connect to what?
to our modern world?
Good question.
Are we just talking philosophy here?
Or does this have real implications?
Because it feels big.
It is big. It has implications.
Like what?
Well, think about AI.
Okay.
Most AI right now
Yeah.
is built on binary logic.
If this, then that.
But imagine an AI
Yeah.
that could use multi-valued logic,
An AI that could think in shades of gray
navigate complexity,
with more nuance.
more understanding.
That's incredible.
It's a whole new level.
It's not just processing information.
And it's understanding.
Like on a deeper level.
A more human level, maybe.
Wow.
And this thinking is influencing other fields, too.
Like what?
Law, medicine, economics.
You're saying?
I'm saying multi-valued logic helps us
With what?
with ethical dilemmas.
Where there's no easy answer.
No simple right or wrong.
So it helps us make better decisions.
In a complex world.
This is so exciting.
It's a new way of thinking.
Embracing uncertainty and complexity.
Instead of forcing things into boxes.
I love it.
It's a beautiful thing.
But I think that's about all the brain power we have for tonight.
We've reached our limit.
Time to wrap up this deep dive.
It's been a journey.
From Descartes to multi-valued logic.
We've covered a lot of ground.
And as always,
A huge thank you.
to our amazing listeners.
You guys are the best.
Keep those comments coming.
Let us know what you think.
And if you need to unwind after all this thinking,
Check out Mickytolife on YouTube.
a little travel, a little adventure.
And some delicious
It's
drinks.
the perfect way to relax.
After a heavy dose of philosophy.
Until next time, sippers and thinkers,
Keep questioning.
keep exploring.
And keep the conversation flowing.